Hi, Tom Cole for Buckeye Cable and BCSN. It's certainly an honor to be here with Maurice Clarett. Maurice, an incredible, football player at Ohio State. I admire so much what you've done. I think your 30-30 I saw on ESPN was one of the most impactful things I've seen. The way that you've faced adversity, turned your life around, the impact and the message that you're giving to young people, because we all face adversity, and how you've handled it. Talk a little bit about that, Maurice.
I'm doing nothing more than just sharing my experiences. I think one of the strongest things you can do is to sort of share the truth of your life and your experiences. And I think from that, yeah, he's strong in there.
Marcus Ray's speaking inside.
Yeah, he's pretty strong in there. But yeah, essentially you're just trying to tell your truth to these kids, and in hopes that they see something inside of your story that they can identify with, and also at the same time take something from your truth or your journey or your story and add on to their story, or give perspective towards what it is that they're trying to figure out in life. And essentially, that's what I do everywhere I go.
Maurice, how does that make you feel? Internally, we're a network that deals with kids constantly, all the high schools and grade schools in the Toledo area. But you're changing kids' lives by telling your story. And, that's not an easy thing to do, to get up in front of people and, you tell your story. And but it's got to make you feel intrinsically good to know that you are impacting young people the way you have.
Yes, it's a different level of fulfillment. You feel fulfilled because you're giving something that's not materialistic. You're giving something to a kid that helps them shift the perspective, and when an individual's perspective begins to shift, he then has the ability to affect more people that he comes in contact with, just from the way he thinks, just from the way he acts, and just from the way he conducts himself in society. And so in that vein, in that sort of area of consciousness, it feels very good, because a lot of times we get a chance to impact student athletes. And student athletes, they have they have a large level of influence in society at large. And you have little kids who follow them. They see them and they see the value of them, and they praise and worship them. But in a lot of cases, a lot of athletes don't know their level of influence towards everybody else. And with that being said, when you can give these guys a story, give these guys some information to help these guys understand who they are and what their role is in society, larger than just playing a sport, then you begin to get on something.
Maurice, do you think that you're so accomplished as an athlete? Do you think that the toughness within the game of football helped you? Because we all face adversity. I mean, there isn't anybody out there that doesn't have problems or issues, but I think sometimes in football you do learn that A, you don't quit, B, you get up off the floor and you say, hey, okay, we're going to fix this. We're going to do what we have to do. Do you think that was part of kind of this whole process for you to be able to get up off the floor?
Yes, and I talk about that. Football is nothing more. Basketball, soccer, volleyball, all these things are just games of discipline. And discipline and hard work and characteristics to help you attain a goal that you're trying to reach throughout the process. And essentially, the hard-working mentality that I've learned inside of football has allowed me to basically come to different areas of my life and apply it elsewhere. I've just understood the track or the path, like the hard work, as I transcended and went into educating myself. The hard work has transcended to me basically being a hard worker in business, and understanding and figuring problems out. But the same mentality that I have towards the football field is the same mentality I was able to adapt elsewhere. But it's oftentimes we don't understand that the game is just a game of discipline. Anything you do from a physical component is accept an instruction, learn how to work with people, learn how to process information, learn how to constantly pursue something. All those things are just attributes from football and basketball, just sport.
Maurice, we ought to, you give any thought to get into the broadcast booth, because you're really good at this in front of the camera.
No broadcasting booth. I do a little radio here and there down in Columbus, so when I do have the time, I thoroughly enjoy doing it, but I don't know broadcasting for me.
Well, how about the Bucks this year? I know you still have the fellows and Coach Tressel and the ties, and we've interviewed Coach Tressel a number of times. What a great guy he is. Can the Bucks hold up under a lot of pressure, to repeat? There's tremendous pressure there. How do you think they'll do?
In that I don't know. With anybody, I always tell them this. It's very easy to do it the first time when a lot of people don't game plan for you. When you can't game plan around all three quarterbacks, you can't game plan and scheme them and have a game plan for the entire offseason of how you're going to attack these guys, it's kind of easy, or you can kind of catch guys off guard. With Cordell being able to throw the deep ball, and that obviously stretched the defensive backs back, and then it creates lanes for Ezekiel Elliott, and then J.T. Barrett had offered something different, and then Braxton, even him, he offered something different. Yes. But now that people know what they're looking at, and now that they spent an entire offseason, you're going to go in week in and week out playing at a very high level. And you have a couple teams in the beginning who obviously they may not be as well developed, but when you get into league play, you're going to be playing guys who are playing at an extremely high level with the extra sense of motivation to beat the defending champs. And so that in itself becomes a task, not sort of the football part of it, but can you mentally get yourself up every week to perform at a high level? And that's anything, from journalism to anything that you do. When you're expected to be good and the expectations are high, can you take that pressure, and can you take that moment, and can you just own it? You know what I'm saying? And so, when you're the underdog and no one expects much from you, and you're out there performing, there's no sense of pressure. But when you have to perform, your stats have to basically be put on this board in order for this team to win. Can you do that? Can you perform? Can you handle the media, the friends, the associates, and everything else that comes along with it? And that's the thing that gets everybody. That's why it's so hard to repeat. But that's why teams like when Alabama repeated, or when teams go on to win multiple championships, it's very commendable, because it's very hard to do. Week in, week out.
Yeah, and you get everybody's best shot. I mean, just what you're saying. Maurice, on behalf of Buckeye Cable and BCSN, thank you so much for spending time with us. Thank you so much. You're going to deliver a message to our TPS kids, and we're really proud and pleased to have you here. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Okay. Tom Cooley, coach for Buckeye Cable and BCSN.